We're responding to a complaint, ma'am. We need to verify your identity and purpose in this neighborhood.
As you can see by my coat, I am federal. I suggest you contact my supervisor.
She won't budge. We should wait for the supervisor.
She's clearly authorized. Let's keep the perimeter secure.
The leash slipped slightly in Maya Ellis's hand as her dog, Clover, trotted ahead, nose brushing the cool morning grass. The sunrise had barely warmed the rows of quiet houses when a police cruiser crept up behind her, slow, deliberate, predatory. Maya felt it before she saw it. The air tightening, the silence cutting sharp. Clover glanced back, sensing her tension. The door slammed. Officer Grant Mercer stepped out, boots heavy on pavement. "You live around here?" he asked, voice flat, suspicious. No greeting, no explanation, just the accusation hidden inside the question. Maya kept her tone calm. "I'm walking my dog, sir." Mercer's gaze flicked to Clover, then back to her. "Funny, haven't seen you here before." A neighbor passing by lowered her eyes and hurried away. Maya swallowed. "This is my morning route." Mercer stepped closer. Too close. "Show ID. People have been reporting unfamiliar individuals. You understand?" Clover whined softly. Maya's fingers trembled as she reached for her pocket, anger burning under her ribs. She knew this wasn't about safety. It was about control, about who he thought belonged here and who didn't. Mercer leaned in, voice colder now. "Next time, don't wander where you're not supposed to." The words hit her like a slap. Before she could answer, Clover barked once, sharp, alert. Mercer's eyes followed the sound toward a house across the street, the one with the discreet bronze plaque, the one he clearly hadn't noticed yet. And when he did, everything would change. Maya locked the door behind her and leaned against it, Clover brushing gently against her leg, as if sensing her shaken pulse. "Good girl," she whispered, though her voice betrayed the tremor she tried to hide. She set her keys on the counter and exhaled shakily. The encounter replayed itself. Mercer's tone, the way he stood too close, the cold smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. Clover nudged her again, head pressed into her palm. "I'm okay," Maya told her. "Really, just tired." Her phone buzzed. "Jordan." She answered. "Hey." "You sound off," Jordan said immediately. "I had an incident," Maya murmured, sinking onto the sofa. "A cop stopped me for walking my dog." Jordan groaned. What did he say this time? It wasn't this time. "I've never met him before." She paused. "But he acted like I didn't belong in my own neighborhood." Jordan's voice hardened. "You need to write it down. Now, before details fade." Maya stared at the ceiling. "Does it matter?" "They never do anything." Jordan didn't hesitate. "It matters because your voice matters. And because some officers use silence as permission." Clover hopped onto the couch, settling in her lap. Maya stroked her fur slowly. "He asked for my ID. Said people were reporting unfamiliar individuals." "Did you get his name?" "Oh, I got it. Officer Grant Mercer." She swallowed. "And he followed me for a while before stopping me." Jordan's breath caught. "That's targeted." "I know." Maya pinched the bridge of her nose. And the way he said, "Don't wander where you're not supposed to," like he owned the whole block. "That line alone is a complaint," Jordan said. "File it." Maya hesitated. What if he retaliates? Jordan softened. "You shouldn't have to be afraid in your own home." Maya's gaze drifted toward the curtained window. "I just don't want trouble." "Trouble already came to you," Jordan countered. "Now you deal with it smart." Maya nodded slowly. "I'll document everything. Maybe tomorrow I'll talk to the HOA president, too." Jordan huffed a laugh. "Good luck with him." "I know." Maya bit her bottom lip. "But someone has to know this is happening." After hanging up, she retrieved her notebook and wrote, 7:12 a.m. Officer Grant Mercer stopped me while walking Clover. No probable cause. Asked for ID. Implicit threat. Clover's ears perked. She lifted her head and growled softly. "What is it, girl?" Maya stood cautiously and parted the curtain. A police cruiser rolled past. Slow. Familiar. It was Mercer. He didn't stop this time, but he didn't need to. His message was clear: I'm watching. Maya exhaled sharply, her stomach twisting. Her home, her sanctuary, felt smaller. She grabbed Clover's leash. Come on, we're going to talk to Harold. Harold, the HOA president, opened his door in a pressed polo and polite smile. Maya, everything all right? Not really, she said. An officer stopped me this morning. Harassed me. He's circling my street again. Harold blinked. Well, officers do patrols. It's for safety. He demanded my ID, Harold, for walking my dog. He shifted uncomfortably. Maybe he didn't recognize you. I've lived here 6 years. Harold coughed. Still people come and go. Maybe he misread the situation. Maya's jaw tightened. Did someone report me? Harold's smile faltered. I don't think so. Then why would he say that? Harold's silence stretched. Maya pressed. Have other residents complained about unfamiliar individuals? Harold exhaled. Some neighbors feel uneasy lately. New faces and all. There are no new faces. Maya snapped quietly. Just assumptions. He looked away. I'll look into it. That's not enough. Harold stiffened. Well, that's all I can do. Maya nodded once, hollow. Thanks for your time. Walking back home, her steps were heavier. Clover stayed close, glancing back toward the street as if on guard. At her door, Maya turned for one last look. Mercer's cruiser pulled up across from her house. He parked, engine humming, not moving. Maya froze. Clover growled low. Mercer lifted a cup of coffee, staring straight through his windshield at her. A cold tremor rolled down her spine. This wasn't misrecognition. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a message. She stepped inside and locked the door. And for the first time in years, she felt unsafe in her own neighborhood. Maya woke early, the weight of yesterday still clinging to her chest. Clover pawed gently at her knee, but even her soft warmth couldn't push away the tightness spiraling through Maya's ribs. She sat at the kitchen table, laptop open, complaint form glaring back at her. How do I even start this? She whispered. Jordan, on video call, leaned closer to the camera. Start with the truth. Start with exactly what he said. Maya typed slowly. Officer Mercer demanded ID without probable cause. Statement carried implicit threat. Pattern of circling residents afterward. Jordan nodded. Good. Now submit. Maya hesitated, finger hovering over the trackpad. What if they blow it off? They might, Jordan said frankly, but they'll blow it off even faster if you don't file it. Maya exhaled sharply and clicked. The screen blinked, then displayed. Complaint received. Case number 31482. No further detail. That's it. Maya murmured. Jordan sighed. That's how it always starts. Clover barked suddenly, sprinting toward the window. Maya's stomach clenched. She stood and peeked outside. Another patrol car, Mercer's, rolling by again. Jordan heard the tension in her silence. He's out there. Again, Maya breathed. Same slow crawl. Document it. Jordan urged. Every pass. Maya lifted her phone and recorded the cruiser's slow movement until it disappeared down the curve of the street. Later that afternoon, Maya drove to the police station. The building's gray concrete walls rose like a warning. Inside, fluorescent lights buzzed overhead as she approached the reception desk. The officer behind the counter barely looked up. Yes. I'm following up on a complaint I submitted this morning, Maya said, against Officer Grant Mercer. The officer's eyebrows lifted slightly. Mercer? You mean Sergeant Mercer. Maya's pulse quickened. Sergeant. Yes. The officer said, a hint of pride in his tone. Highly decorated. Community awards. Commendations. Very professional. Maya swallowed. I see. Can I speak to Internal Affairs? He pointed down a hallway with mechanical disinterest. She walked to the corridor, her footsteps echoing softly. A door marked Internal Affairs Review sat at the end, half open. She knocked. A woman looked up from a pile of papers. Come in. Maya introduced herself. The woman nodded, scanning her computer. Yes, I see your complaint. Maya waited, but the woman said nothing more. Well, Maya asked. The woman clasped her hands. Sergeant Mercer has an impeccable service record. Are you sure there wasn't a misunderstanding? Maya's throat tightened. He stopped me without cause, followed me, demanded ID, then parked outside my home. Sometimes officers conduct community presence checks, the woman replied, to ensure safety. That's not what this was. The woman sighed. We'll review it, but please understand, these matters are delicate. Delicate for whom? Maya asked quietly. The woman didn't answer. Maya stood. I'd like to speak to someone higher up. That won't be necessary, the woman said quickly. We handle all preliminary reviews. Maya stared at her, reading the subtle dismissal in her tone, the practiced minimization behind every phrase. You're not taking this seriously. We're following protocol, the woman replied. No, Maya murmured, stepping back toward the door. You're protecting him. Outside, Maya leaned against her car, shaking. Clover pressed her nose through the cracked window, whining softly. Maya whispered, I know, girl. I'm coming. She got inside and rested her forehead on the steering wheel. Jordan called again. How did it go? They deflected. They defended him before even hearing me out. Jordan blew out a breath. Typical. You need more evidence. I already have some. Then get more. That evening, Maya sat on her porch, notebook open. Clover lay at her feet. The sunset painted the sky orange, but her nerves remained taut. A shadow stretched across the pavement. Mercer, he approached slowly, hands resting casually on his duty belt. Maya stiffened. Can I help you, officer? Just doing my rounds, Mercer replied, glancing at her notebook. Notice you've been taking a lot of notes. Maya kept her voice steady. I document things. Helps me organize my thoughts. He stepped closer. Residents appreciate safety checks, you know. Some residents, Maya corrected. Mercer smirked. Well, some residents draw more attention than others. Clover growled. Control your animal, Mercer barked. She's reacting to your tone. Or maybe she senses something you're hiding. Maya's breath hitched. I'm hiding nothing. Mercer leaned in slightly. Then you won't mind if I keep an eye on things. She held his stare. You've made that clear already? He straightened, hands still resting on his belt, posture unmistakably intimidating. Good evening, Ms. Ellis. He walked away without another word. Maya's hands trembled. Clover nuzzled her leg. I know, girl, Maya whispered. He's escalating. Inside, she opened her laptop and searched neighborhood forums, HOA minutes, and prior complaint logs. A pattern began emerging, a chilling one. Several residents of color had informal warnings issued for arbitrary reasons. Suspicious walking route, unfamiliar vehicle, noise, unapproved gatherings. No citations, no formal offense, just intimidation. Maya whispered, how has no one stopped this? Then a realization struck her, a painful, obvious one, because people were scared, isolated, and unheard, just like she had been. Her phone buzzed. Jordan. Any updates? I found reports, Maya said. Not official complaints. Just notes from residents saying he stopped them. It's a pattern. You're building a case. Keep going. I'm trying, Maya murmured. But he approached me again. Told me he'd keep an eye on things. That's a threat. I know. Suddenly, Clover jumped to her feet and rushed to the window. Maya followed her gaze. Flashlight beams swept across her living room curtains. Mercer, walking up and down the sidewalk, shining a light directly into her windows. Jordan heard Maya's breathing quicken. What's happening? He's outside, Maya whispered. He's shining a flashlight at my house. Record it. Now. Maya lifted her phone with shaking hands and pressed record as Mercer moved methodically, light slicing through each window as though searching for a reason to intervene. Clover barked sharply, hackles raised. Mercer didn't flinch. Didn't even look at her house, just continued sweeping his light across her property. Maya whispered, voice trembling, "He's not patrolling. He's warning me." And for the first time, the fear felt suffocating. The next morning, Maya noticed something she had never seen before. Curtains shifting. Not dramatically, just the tiniest twitch, the smallest shadow behind fabric, but enough to tell her people were watching. Clover patted by her side. Tail low, Maya stepped onto her porch. 2 doors down, Mrs. Collins hurried to her mailbox, kept her eyes fixed downward, and then rushed back inside. Maya exhaled slowly. So that's how it's going to be. A voice startled her. Morning. She turned to see Daniel, a neighbor she barely spoke to. He jogged by with earbuds in hand. "You okay?" he asked quietly. "Not really," she admitted. He glanced around before lowering his voice. "I saw Mercer here last night. Flashlight out. Looked aggressive." Maya's pulse quickened. "Did you record anything?" "I didn't," Daniel said, frustrated. "But I will if he tries anything again." Maya nodded gratefully. "Thank you." He shrugged. "People pretend not to see things, but some of us see everything." Then he jogged off. Inside, Maya opened her notebook again, adding Daniel's statement. Clover rested against her leg, sighing. The doorbell rang. Maya tensed, peering to the peephole. A young woman, early 30s, dark curly hair, nervous hands, stood on the porch. Maya cracked the door. "Yes." "Hi, I'm Renee. I live over on Willow Court." She swallowed. "Can I talk to you for a second?" Maya hesitated, then stepped aside. "Come in." Renee entered, voice trembling. "I heard what happened yesterday. With the officer." Maya's chest tightened. "How did you—" "People talk," Renee whispered. "Not loudly, not publicly, but they talk." Maya sat with her at the table. "What did they say?" "That he stopped you, asked for ID." Renee rubbed her palms. "That he's been circling." Maya nodded stiffly. "All true." Renee looked up then, eyes full of something heavy. "He stopped me, too." Maya's breath caught. "When?" "A few months ago. Said I looked lost. I've lived here 7 years." Her voice cracked. "I didn't tell anyone. I was afraid of everything." "Afraid of him?" Maya asked gently. Renee nodded, tears forming. "And afraid no one would believe me." Clover rested her head on Renee's knee. Renee let out a shaky laugh. "Your dog's sweet." "She's my anchor," Maya said softly. "And you're not crazy. This is a pattern." Renee wiped her eyes. "If you ever need someone to back up your story, I will." Maya's throat tightened. "Thank you." Later, Maya walked Clover through the neighborhood, not avoiding the streets Mercer had watched her on, but deliberately choosing them. She needed to be seen. 2 older men sweeping their driveways looked up, whispered each other, then looked away quickly. At the end of Briar Lane, a woman watering flowers paused mid-spray when Maya passed. "Hi," Maya offered. The woman startled, then forced a smile. "Oh, hello." Her voice was thin, guarded. Maya kept walking. This neighborhood had always been polite, friendly on the surface, but now she could hear the cracks. She turned a corner and found a man standing beside his SUV, pretending to reorganize bags. He watched her openly. "Morning," Maya said. He barely nodded. "Heard you had a run-in with the police." Maya stopped. Word spreads fast. "Well," he shrugged. "Some folks are wondering why he stopped you." Maya blinked. "Why?" "You know," he said vaguely. "He must have had a reason." Maya's voice cooled. "Did he have a reason when he stopped Renee from Willow Court?" The man stiffened. "She told you that?" "Yes." He shifted uncomfortably. "Maybe you're misunderstanding the officer's intentions." Maya's jaw tightened. "Maybe you're misunderstanding the problem." She walked away before his silence could turn into another excuse. At home again, Maya's phone buzzed. An unknown number. She answered cautiously. "Hello?" A male voice whispered. "Check your mailbox. Now." Then hung up. Clover barked anxiously. Maya stood on the porch, scanning the street. No sign of Mercer. No sign of anyone. She walked to her mailbox and opened it. Inside was a plain envelope. No name. Her breath caught. She hurried inside, shut the door, and tore the envelope open. A USB flash drive slid onto the table. A note with shaky handwriting read, "You need to hear what they say when you're not in the room." Maya's heart raced. She plugged the USB into her laptop. Audio files appeared. HOA underscore meeting underscore 01, HOA underscore meeting underscore 02, and so on. Her fingers trembled as she clicked the first. A voice she recognized, Harold's, spoke calmly. "Look, we just want the neighborhood to remain consistent. Officer Mercer helps ensure that." Another voice, "Certain residents attract attention." A third voice, "He's not doing anything wrong, just reminding folks of standards." Maya's mouth went dry. A woman added, "Some people bring a different energy, and if Mercer talks to them, maybe they'll behave differently." Maya covered her mouth, horrified. This wasn't random. This wasn't just Mercer. This was coordinated. She clicked another file. Harold again. "If someone doesn't fit the community aesthetic, it's his job to approach them. We can't afford property value decline." Someone else snorted. "Well, she didn't look like she lived here, did she?" Maya's hand shook violently. Clover whimpered, sensing her distress. Maya whispered, They met me the whole time." She clicked the last file. "Harold, if anyone complains about Mercer, we'll back him. He's doing us a service." A pause, then a statement that hollowed her out. "People like her don't understand neighborhoods like this." Maya shut the laptop, heart pounding. She grabbed her phone and dialed Jordan. He answered instantly. "What happened?" "They recorded HOA meetings," Maya whispered. "I have audio. They told Mercer to watch certain people. They said I wasn't the right kind of resident." Jordan hissed, "Send everything to me. All of it." I didn't know it was this deep." "It's systemic," Jordan said softly. "This is what systemic looks like." Maya closed her eyes, tears welling. "I'm scared." "You're also powerful," Jordan reminded her. "This is evidence. Real evidence. Enough to crack this open." Maya exhaled shakily. Clover pressed against her leg. Jordan continued, voice firm. "This is bigger than one cop. You're uncovering a whole structure." Maya swallowed hard. "I just wanted to walk my dog." "I know," Jordan said. "But now you're walking into something huge." Maya wiped a tear away. "What do I do?" Jordan paused. "Use it. Expose them. All of them." Maya looked at the USB drive, at Clover, at the window where neighbors whisper behind curtains. Her fear didn't vanish. But something else rose quietly beside it. Resolve. Maya sat at the dining table long after sunrise, the USB drive resting between her fingers like a live wire. Clover sat beside her chair, ears twitching every time Maya's breath shook. Jordan's voice buzzed through the phone on speaker. "Maya, you need legal help. Not later. Now." "I know," she said quietly. I didn't expect this. HOA corruption? Coordinated targeting? It's bigger than one officer. It usually is." Maya swallowed. "Okay, I'll call someone." "Good. And Maya, don't confront Harold yet. Don't confront anyone." She nodded, though he couldn't see. "Yeah, I won't." But her stomach twisted. A part of her wanted to confront them, wanted to yell, to demand answers, to force them to face what they'd done. Still, she listened. Instead of marching down the block, she searched online for civil rights attorneys. The first few firms felt too polished, too corporate. She needed someone who understood neighborhoods like hers. She found a name by chance. Lana Jeffries, Civil Rights and Community Defense. Maya dialed. A calm voice answered. "This is Lana." Maya cleared her throat. "My name is Maya Ellis. I think I'm being targeted by a police officer, and maybe my HOA." "Tell me everything," Lana said. Maya spoke for nearly 10 minutes. Pauses, trembling breaths, anger simmering beneath each detail. When she finished, Lana exhaled slowly. You have a pattern of harassment, potential civil rights violations, and evidence of discrimination. You're not imagining this. Maya nearly cried with relief. What do I do? For now, document everything. Keep the recording secure. Don't interact with the officer unless absolutely necessary. Maya nodded, gripping her phone. I can do that. Good. Lana continued. Tomorrow we can talk next steps. Later that afternoon, Maya decided to take Clover outside. She refused to hide in her own home. They had barely reached the sidewalk when a patrol car screeched to a stop. Mercer. The door slammed, echoing to the quiet street. Maya froze. Clover pressed against her leg. Mercer approached with slow, heavy footsteps. Ms. Ellis, he said, voice deceptively mild. A word. Maya swallowed. What now? Mercer lifted a small notepad. We received a report about an unleashed animal in the neighborhood. Description matches your dog. Maya blinked, stunned. Clover? She's never unleashed. She's leashed right now. Mercer shrugged. Still need to issue a citation. What? You didn't see her unleashed? No one did. It was reported, Mercer repeated, tearing a slip from his pad and handing it to her. So it's documented. Maya stared at the paper. Violation 12B, unleashed animal. Fine, $85. Her voice cracked. This is fabricated. Everything in this job is based on observation, Mercer said. And some residents observe things you don't. That's a lie. Mercer's lips curved slightly, just enough to taunt. Careful, Ms. Ellis. Accusing an officer of lying is a serious matter. Her blood boiled. You can't keep doing this. Doing what? He asked, innocent tone dripping with mockery. My job. Bystanders gathered, quiet, curious, guilty. Phones lifted. Whispers spread like wildfire. One woman murmured, Is everything okay? No, Maya said loudly, shaking. It is not. Mercer's posture stiffened, eyes narrowing at the small crowd. Ma'am, I'm giving you a lawful order to calm down. You're harassing me, Maya shot back. You've been circling my home, shining lights into my windows, and now you're issuing fake citations. Gasps rippled through the bystanders. Mercer stepped closer, lowering his voice to a razor edge. Watch your tone. Maya forced her chin up. Watch your actions. Someone recorded openly now. Daniel from down the street. Mercer noticed. His jaw clenched. Maya held his gaze. This time, she didn't flinch. Mercer recalibrated instantly, turning his voice soft, public-friendly. Ms. Ellis, this is simply a misunderstanding. If you believe the citation is unfair, you may dispute it through the proper channels. Clover growled quietly. Maya gripped her leash. I will, and I'll make sure your name is on every form. Mercer took one step back. Have a good evening. He walked to his cruiser and drove away. The tension lingered like smoke. Daniel hurried toward her. Maya, are you okay? No, she whispered. But thank you for recording. I'll send it to you, he said. You're not alone. Renee appeared from behind a car, eyes wide. He can't get away with that. Maya nodded, though every muscle in her body trembled. Not anymore. That night, Maya sat at her desk reviewing the citation. Her hands shook, but her resolve hardened. This is proof, she murmured. This is escalation. She scanned the document, analyzing the timestamp, Mercer's badge number, everything. Her phone buzzed. A text from Lana. Save every document, every video, every message. We'll use it. Maya exhaled shakily. Okay. She opened her laptop and attached the citation to a growing digital folder titled Mercer Evidence. Clover whined, pacing. It's okay, girl, Maya whispered. We're doing something about it. But inside, she felt the cold truth. Mercer wasn't backing off. He was testing boundaries, testing how much she'd tolerate. Later, as she stepped outside to calm her thoughts, she noticed a shadow lingering near the corner of the street. Mercer again, parked in the dark, engine off, no lights, just sitting there, watching her. Maya's breath caught. Fear and fury tangled in her chest. Clover growled from the doorway. Mercer didn't move, didn't wave, didn't start the engine. He simply watched. A chill ran down Maya's spine. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't an overeager officer. This was targeted harassment, calculated, controlled, and now undeniable. Maya whispered to herself, voice breaking but steady, "This ends now." And she stepped back inside, locking the door with trembling hands, but with a growing fire in her eyes. Maya barely slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the flashlight slicing across her windows, the citation in her hand, Mercer's smirk. By sunrise, her nerves felt frayed, stretched in like old wire. Clover nudged her gently. "I know, girl," Maya whispered. "We're okay." But she didn't feel okay. She sat on the couch with her laptop open, organizing files, recordings, timestamps, photos, witness names. She uploaded Daniel's footage. She labeled the audio clips from the HOA meetings. She scanned the citation. Jordan called. "You seen the news today?" "No." "Why?" "There's a reporter looking into neighborhood policing cases. Similar patterns. You should talk to her." Maya's breath caught. "News? I don't know if I'm ready for that." "It doesn't have to be on record. Just talk." Before she could respond, her doorbell rang. "Maya," a voice called out. "It's Leona Briggs. I'm a local reporter." Maya froze. Clover barked softly. Jordan said, "Let her in. Trust your gut. But this could help." Maya exhaled. "Stay on the line." She opened the door. A petite woman with glasses, curly hair pulled into a bun, and a notebook tucked under one arm smiled softly. "Hi. Sorry for dropping by unannounced. Daniel told me you might be willing to speak with someone." Maya stepped aside. "Come in." Leona entered, eyes scanning the neat living room, the piles of organized files. "I'm guessing you have a lot to talk about." Maya nodded. "Yes, but off the record." "Of course." They sat at the table. Clover lay at Maya's feet, protective. Leona opened a small recorder. "I won't use anything unless you give permission. But I've been looking into Officer Grant Mercer for months." "Months?" Maya repeated, stunned. "Yes," Leona said quietly. "You're not the only one. Others have been too scared to file formal complaints. But the same officer, the same neighborhood, the same pattern." Maya's throat tightened. "Why hasn't anyone stopped him yet?" Leona sighed. "He's well connected. Commendations, community ties, real estate investors like him because he keeps the neighborhood under control." Maya nearly dropped her pen. "Real estate investors?" Leona nodded. "Some developers want to reshape this area. There are whispers they pressure HOAs to work with officers who discourage undesirable demographics." Maya closed her eyes. Rage and nausea spiraled together. "So this isn't just harassment. It's business." "It's both," Leona said. "And deadly for people they intimidate." Maya took a deep breath. "I have recordings. HOA meetings. They're telling Mercer to watch certain residents." Leona sat straighter. "Can I hear them?" "Off the record." "Off the record." Leona echoed. Maya played the first clip. Harold's voice filled the room. "If someone doesn't fit the community aesthetic, it's his job to approach them." Leona's jaw dropped. This is huge." Maya clicked the next. "We can't afford property value decline." And the next. "People like her don't understand neighborhoods like this." Leona set her pen down, stunned. "Maya, this is systemic discrimination. Documented. Coordinated. You could take down an entire HOA board with this. Maybe more." Maya swallowed. "I don't want to take down anyone. I just want to feel safe." Leona shook her head. "This isn't about wanting. This is about needing justice." Before Maya could answer, a loud bang rattled the door. Clover bolted to her feet, barking. Leona flinched. "What was that?" Maya stood slowly, heart pounding. She looked through the peephole. Mercer. Again. He pounded once more, hand firm on the doorframe. "Ms. Ellis, open up." We need to discuss last night's disturbance. Maya whispered. There was no disturbance. Leona mouthed, record this. Maya hit record on her phone and opened the door only a crack. What disturbance? She asked tightly. Mercer leaned forward, eyes flicking to Leona behind her. We got a noise complaint. Thought you want to handle that quickly. Unless you want another citation. Leona stood up. Officer Mercer, I'm Leona Briggs, local journalist. Mercer stepped back instantly, posture tightening. A reporter? Leona crossed her arms. Yes, and I'm documenting everything that happens here. Mercer's jaw worked. This is official police business. Then act like it. Leona snapped. Because what I'm seeing looks like targeted harassment. Maya had never seen Mercer visibly rattle before, but he was now, just slightly. Ms. Ellis, he said, eyes narrowing, be mindful of the company you keep. Leona scoffed. Is that a threat? Mercer didn't answer. He turned abruptly and strode back to his cruiser. Maya shut the door, chest heaving. Leona whispered, he's scared. No, Maya said softly. He's angry. And angry men with power get sloppy, Leona replied. That's when they get caught. That night, the house felt heavier, the air thicker. Shadows stretched across the walls in ways that made Maya's spine tense. Around 9 p.m., a new sound echoed outside. Bang, bang, bang. Not at her door, this time at her window. Clover snarled, something Maya had never heard from her before. Maya grabbed her phone and hit record. Who's there? Silence. Then a flashlight beam sweeping her living room wall again. Mercer, she whispered. It's him. Again. Leona's earlier warning echoed. Angry men with power get sloppy. Maya stood behind the curtain, recording every second. Mercer's silhouette moved methodically. Flashlight grazing the corners of her home like he was searching for a reason to force his way in. Her heart pounded. Clover growled. The flashlight stopped, right at her window. Maya held her breath. Then Mercer's low voice drifted through the glass. This neighborhood has rules, Miss Ellis. And he walked away. Maya sank to the floor, shaking, Clover curling against her. She whispered, tomorrow we expose everything. Because now there was no going back. The courthouse lobby buzzed with low murmurs, a symphony of nerves and fluorescent lighting. Maya clutched her folder of evidence against her chest as Clover, sensing her tension, nudged her hip before she left her with Jordan outside. Jordan squeezed Maya's shoulder. You've got this. Maya nodded, though her stomach was twisting. I hope so. Inside the courtroom, Officer Grant Mercer sat at the front table in full uniform, jaw tight, posture rigid. He refused to look at her. His attorney, a sharp-faced man with a polished smile, whispered something, and Mercer's expression hardened further. The judge entered, and everyone rose. Today's hearing, the judge announced, addresses Sergeant Mercer's complaint against Ms. Maya Ellis regarding alleged disorderly conduct, interference, and hostility toward a police officer. Maya almost laughed aloud. Hostility? Toward him? Her attorney, Lana Jeffries, leaned close. Stay calm. Let him overplay his hand. Mercer's attorney stood. Your Honor, my client has endured repeated aggression from Ms. Ellis, verbal hostility, refusal to cooperate, and disruptive behavior during lawful investigations. Maya's jaw dropped. Lana squeezed her hand under the table. The attorney continued, Sergeant Mercer has spent 12 years serving this community. His decorated record speaks for itself. The accusation of harassment is a gross misinterpretation of proactive policing. Lana stood slowly. Your Honor, we will present evidence demonstrating an ongoing pattern of targeted intimidation by Sergeant Mercer, supported by multiple recordings, timestamps, and corroborating witnesses. The judge raised an eyebrow. Recordings? Mercer stiffened visibly. Lana placed a USB on the evidence card. Yes, Your Honor. An HOA meeting audio implicating coordinated discriminatory practices. But we will begin with direct testimony. The judge nodded. Proceed. Maya took the stand. Her palms were damp. The wooden seat felt harder than it should. Lana approached. Ms. Ellis, In your own words, please describe a first encounter with Sergeant Mercer. Maya inhaled. I was walking my dog. He stopped me without cause, asked for my ID, spoke to me as if I didn't belong in my own neighborhood. Did he explain why he approached you? No. Did he continue to drive past your home afterward? Yes. Repeatedly. Slowly. Deliberately. Lana nodded. How did this make you feel? Targeted. Unsafe. Like I was being watched for existing. A murmur rippled through the room. Mercer's attorney rose. Ms. Ellis, isn't it true that Sergeant Mercer patrols the entire neighborhood? His presence near your home doesn't mean he was targeting you. Maya met his eyes. He wasn't patrolling. He was surveilling. You don't shine flashlights into someone's windows at night unless you're trying to intimidate them. A quiet gasp traveled across the gallery. You're exaggerating, the attorney said. No, Maya replied, voice steady. I recorded it. The courtroom tensed. Lana stepped forward. Your Honor, with permission. The judge nodded. Lana pressed play. The speakers crackled, and then Mercer's flashlight beam filled the room, sweeping across Maya's living room curtains. Clover's growl echoed faintly. Then Mercer's voice, low and unmistakable. Next time, don't wander where you're not supposed to. Gasps erupted. Even the judge leaned back. Mercer's attorney paled. Lana continued. Your Honor, this demonstrates intimidation, not policing. The judge turned to Mercer. Sergeant, do you dispute the authenticity of this recording? Mercer clenched his jaw. It's out of context. Lana lifted another document. Let's talk about the citation issued against Ms. Ellis. She handed copies to the judge and opposing counsel. Violation 12B, she said. An unleashed animal. Except Ms. Ellis's dog was leashed, recorded, witnessed, and the report was never filed with animal control. Because there was no actual violation, the judge frowned. Sergeant, can you explain this? Mercer's fingers twitched. I responded to a complaint. By whom? Lana asked. Mercer hesitated. Too long. The judge's gaze sharpened. Lana continued. And now, the most serious evidence. She clicked open another audio file. Harold's voice filled the courtroom. If someone doesn't fit the community aesthetic, it's his job to approach them. Another voice. People like her don't understand neighborhoods like this. Maya braced herself. Hearing it aloud hurt in a different way, a deeper way. Lana looked at the judge. These are members of the HOA discussing Sergeant Mercer's role in monitoring specific residents of color, Ms. Ellis included. Mercer's attorney scrambled. This proves nothing. HOA volunteers are not law enforcement. No, Lana replied, but their collusion with law enforcement is. The judge raised a hand. I need a moment. The courtroom buzzed with whispers. Mercer's face darkened, sweat beating at his temple. He finally looked at Maya, anger, desperation, fear colliding. Lana leaned over. This is going very, very well. Maya nodded, though her chest still felt tight. After several minutes, the judge returned. Given the evidence, Sergeant Mercer's complaint against Ms. Ellis is dismissed. Additionally, due to the serious concerns raised today, I am ordering an internal investigation into Sergeant Mercer's conduct, his relationship with the HOA, and potential discriminatory practices. The room exploded with murmurs. Mercer's voice rose, furious. This is ridiculous. I've done nothing wrong. Sergeant, the judge warned, one more outburst and you will be removed from the courtroom. Mercer swallowed his rage. The judge turned to Maya. Ms. Ellis, thank you for your courage. This hearing is adjourned. Outside the courtroom, Jordan rushed to her and hugged her tightly. You did it. Leona approached next, eyes alight. Maya, this is a story. A big story. When you're ready on the record, it could expose everything. Maya nodded weakly. The adrenaline was fading, replaced by exhaustion. I want to breathe again. Lana joined them. You took the first step. Now the investigation begins. Mercer's facade is cracking. Maya looked toward the courthouse steps. Mercer stood there, seething, watching her, not victorious, not untouchable, shaken. And for the first time, Maya felt something shift. The power dynamic was changing. She wasn't hunted anymore. For the first time in weeks, the neighborhood felt different. Not safer, not resolved, but tense in a new direction. The whispers that once trailed behind Maya now rippled ahead of her, shifting from suspicion to shock to fear. She stepped outside with Clover, the air thick with unease. The lawn sprinkler sputtered. A car door slammed somewhere, but the usual quiet politeness had cracked. People were watching again, but not with judgment. This time with the uneasiness of those who sense a storm brewing. Jordan texted, "Check the news." Maya opened the link. Neighborhood officer under investigation for targeted policing practices. Anonymous leak reveals HOA collusion. Residents demand accountability. Her heart raced as she scrolled. Leona had kept her off record, but the story was unmistakably about their neighborhood. The HOA statements from the audio recordings were paraphrased, not quoted, but framed in context, enough to spark outrage. A new headline flashed. Mercer seen leaving precinct after suspension notice. Clover barked once, as if affirming the shift. Maya whispered, "It's happening." Around noon, a cluster of neighbors gathered near the mailbox, whispering, staring. As Maya approached, the whisper stopped. Mrs. Collins stepped forward. "Maya, can we talk?" Maya paused. "About what?" Mrs. Collins wrung her hands. "I didn't know what was happening. I swear, I thought he was just doing his job." Maya held her gaze. "But you saw things. Strange things. You never said anything." Mrs. Collins hesitated. "People don't want to get involved. It's safer to stay quiet." "Safer for who?" Maya asked softly. Mrs. Collins lowered her eyes, shame flickering. "I'm sorry." Another neighbor, Mr. Dorsey, cleared his throat. "We heard about the properties, that you own several homes on this street." Maya blinked. "How?" "Investigators came by," he said, "asked about property lines, about ownership. They saw the bronze plaque at the end of the street." Maya turned toward the house with the plaque, the home she inherited from her grandmother, the cornerstone of her family's generational legacy, the one Mercer had stared at during their first encounter. Mr. Dorsey continued softly, "Your grandmother, she helped build this neighborhood. Everyone old enough remembers her. She was respected." Maya's chest tightened. She never talked much about that. He nodded. "Humility runs in families." Before she could respond, a convoy of black SUVs turned onto the street. Investigators, 3 men and 2 women, stepped out with clipboards, ID cards, and purposeful strides. Clover growled softly. One investigator approached. "Ms. Ellis." "Yes," Maya answered, palm sweating. "I'm Investigator Ramos. We're conducting a neighborhood assessment related to Sergeant Mercer's case and the HOA's practices. May we ask you a few additional questions today?" Maya nodded. "Of course." As they spoke, another group of investigators approached the bronze plaque property. One knelt to examine it. "What are they doing?" Maya asked. Ramos said, "This property is listed under your family's trust, correct?" "Yes," Maya said slowly. "My grandmother established it. I inherited it." "Did you know," Ramos asked gently, "that this trust includes additional parcels throughout the neighborhood? Several lots, rental homes, and shared land agreements." Maya stared blankly. "I know. She didn't tell me everything. She always said, 'You'll understand it when the time comes.'" Ramos nodded. "Well, the time appears to have come." Maya felt faint. Her grandmother, quiet, steady, self-effacing, had quietly owned more of the neighborhood than anyone knew. And Mercer had harassed the neighborhood's largest property holder. Ramos continued. "Sergeant Mercer filed internal reports describing you as possibly transient, suspicious, and non-compliant with community standards. We now know those assertions were categorically false." Maya swallowed, anger returning like fire beneath her ribs. "He knew nothing about me." "He was supposed to know," Ramos said, "but he didn't check, or he didn't care." More neighbors gathered as investigators moved up and down the block, knocking on doors. Daniel approached Maya. Looks like the world found out who actually owns half the neighborhood. I didn't even know, she whispered. He smiled. Your grandmother was a strategist. Quiet power is still power. Before she could respond, a swarm of reporters turned onto the street. Cameras, microphones, lights. Leona was at the front, moving with purpose. Maya, she called. Maya held up her hands. Not on record. Leona nodded. Understood. But you should know, Mercer went on camera earlier. He tried to discredit you. Maya's stomach turned. What did he say? Leona pulled out her phone and played the clip. Mercer, looking furious, stood outside the precinct. These accusations are fabricated by an individual who refused lawful commands. This is a case of someone trying to weaponize the system against an officer doing his job. Leona stopped the clip, but 10 minutes later, the investigation announcement hit the news, and his tone changed. She played another clip. Mercer, now stiff and pale, no comment. Reporters shouted after him. Did you target Miss Ellis? Why didn't you run checks on her property records? Are you aware she owns multiple homes in the neighborhood? Mercer froze in the video, clearly blindsided. The clip ended. Leona looked up. He didn't know Maya. He had no idea who you were. Maya whispered, because he never cared enough to look. Clover leaned against her leg, as if grounding her. Another reporter approached Maya carefully. Ma'am, respectfully, do you plan to make a statement about owning the neighborhood properties? I'm not ready to speak publicly, Maya said. Not yet. The reporter nodded and stepped back. Jordan arrived moments later, breathless. Everyone's talking about you. The trust, the investigation. Mercer. Maya looked at the street. Neighbors whispering, investigators taking notes, reporters documenting every angle. It's too much, she whispered. I didn't ask for any of this. Jordan put a hand on her shoulder. But you're handling it, and it's changing things. Maya exhaled slowly. Behind the crowd, Mercer's cruiser turned onto the street. The entire block fell silent. Reporters spun around. Cameras lifted. Investigators braced. Mercer slowed to a stop, face tight, eyes burning with humiliation and disbelief. He stared at Maya, really stared, not with authority, not with power, not with control, but with the dawning realization that the woman he targeted was the woman who owned the ground beneath his boots, and the future of his career, and the narrative the world was now watching. Maya didn't look away. For the first time, it was Mercer who lowered his eyes. The neighborhood felt different the next morning, quieter, heavier, as though it were holding its breath. Maya stepped outside with Clover, her movement slow from exhaustion rather than fear. Overnight, the world had learned what Mercer refused to see. She was not a stranger in this neighborhood. She was part of its foundation. Jordan called immediately. You okay? Maya nodded. I think so, but everything feels surreal. As she walked down the sidewalk, mailboxes creaked open. Curtains twitched. A few neighbors offered hesitant smiles. Others avoided eye contact entirely. The news vans were gone for now, replaced by investigators finishing their reports. At the corner, Investigator Ramos approached. Ms. Ellis, he said gently, I wanted to inform you personally. Sergeant Mercer has been removed from active duty while a formal review proceeds. Maya blinked slowly. That's fast. Your evidence accelerated the urgency, Ramos explained. And the HOA's involvement, he paused, is also under full investigation. Several board members have already resigned. A weight lifted from her chest. Not joy, not triumph. Something softer, relief wrapped in ache. She whispered, Thank you. Ramos nodded, then added quietly, And thank you. Most people never come forward. When he walked away, Maya exhaled shakily. Clover leaned her head into Maya's thigh, grounding her. By noon, the HOA board sent an official notice. Effective immediately, the entire board is stepping down pending the completion of a third-party audit. All discriminatory policies, including informal cooperation with law enforcement, are suspended. Maya read the letter twice. Jordan burst into her living room. Maya, you did it. I didn't do it alone, she murmured. I just didn't stay quiet. Jordan hugged her tightly. That's bravery. But Maya didn't feel brave. She felt worn, like someone who had survived a storm rather than conquered one. She sat on the couch and pressed her palm to her eyes. I'm relieved, but I'm tired. So tired. Jordan nodded. Fighting injustice takes pieces out of you, but it also builds something stronger. Clover climbed onto Maya's lap, warm and steady. Maya stroked her fur and whispered, I'm okay. I promise. That evening, Maya walked Clover to the bronze plaque house, her grandmother's legacy. The sun dipped low, painting the street gold. She stood beneath the old oak tree, reading the engraved words. For community, for belonging, for every future step. Eleanor Ellis. Maya brushed her fingers over the carved letters. You knew, she whispered. You always knew. A presence stirred behind her. She turned and found Harold standing at a distance, hands shaking. His once confident posture crumbled into something small. Maya, his voice cracked. I didn't know you owned. She lifted a hand. It wouldn't have mattered. You shouldn't treat anyone that way. Ownership isn't the point. Harold swallowed. I never meant. Stop, Maya said softly. Intent doesn't erase impact. You hurt people. You empowered someone who abused power. Harold's eyes filled with remorse. I'm sorry. Maya didn't reply. His apology wasn't for her to validate. He walked away quietly, leaving her with a fading light and a quiet rustle of clover sniffing the grass. When she returned home, a small crowd waited. Neighbors of color, people she'd seen only in passing. Renee stepped forward first. We want to say thank you, Renee said gently. You opened a door for all of us. Maya shook her head. No, I just spoke up. And because you did, Renee's voice wavered. We finally feel seen. Another neighbor added, this street might finally change. Maya smiled faintly. Then that's worth it. They stayed for a short while, talking about change, about fear, about hope, then slowly drifted back to their homes. Maya felt something inside her ease. Not fully, but enough. Later, as night settled over the block, Maya sat on her porch with Clover curled beside her. A notification buzzed on her phone. Breaking news. Officer Mercer facing formal charges after internal review findings. She clicked it. The article described patterns of misconduct, civil rights violations, falsified reports, and inappropriate coordination with HOA officials. It ended with a line that made Maya exhale deeply. The investigation was prompted by a resident who courageously came forward. Not named, but known. She closed the article and looked out at the quiet street. Clover shifted, placing her head on Maya's thigh. I didn't want to fight, Maya whispered. I just wanted to walk you in peace. Clover thumped her tail. And now, Maya breathed, maybe we finally can. She leaned back, letting the night air brush against her face. The trauma hadn't vanished. It never would, but resilience lived beside it, rebuilding what had been shaken. Tomorrow, she decided, she would begin something new, a neighborhood equity program, honoring her grandmother's legacy, a way to rebuild community with transparency and belonging at its core. It wouldn't erase what happened, but it might prevent someone else from living it. And that, she realized, was justice too. Clover nuzzled closer. Maya smiled softly into the night. Yes, girl, she whispered. We're home. And this time everyone knows it.